Nick. Yeah. Did you know that Von Karma's daughter is only 18, just like me? Yeah. Why? I was just thinking about how strong she is. I mean, she's been in Germany all this time by herself, and she's so grown up. Yeah, and I'm sure she felt a lot of pressure from her father's reputation. And then you look at me and, well, I'm the daughter of the master, but I'm still just a little girl. And on top of that, I'm the suspect in a murder trial. Again, no less. But I think you're really strong too, Maya, for all you've gone through. Fucking say that to her, dog. What's wrong with you?
Good morning. The two of you look like you're doing well today. I'm happy for you.
Hey, morning, Pearly.
You'll be safe today, Mystic Maya.
Huh? What do you mean?
I'm gonna kill him. I brought a gun. My mother's coming today to show her support.
Yeah, that's right, Pearly. Oh, if only she wasn't one of the responsible parties. That would be nice. Hey, Pearls.
Yes, Mr. Nick.
Do you think you could do me a big favor? Could you channel Mia today, too?
Huh? I was sort of hoping to sit in the audience today and watch.
He doesn't want her to see us accuse Morgan of being involved in a conspiracy.
Please, it's very important.
Please, it's very important to me. I don't feel confident enough without her help.
Mr. Nick, that's enough. You can't show weakness in front of the person you love.
Pearly, not this again. Please, can you do this for us, Pearls?
Oh, right, I'll do it. I'll do it for Mystic Maya's sake. See you later then. I'll leave you two to your alone time.
Whew, thank goodness. Nick. This way Pearls won't be able to see today's trial. What do you mean? What's going on? Well, you see...
Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Let's start already. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I look forward to tonight's news with great joy. The image of your defeated face will be transmitted all over the world. All over the world, huh? Sounds like you've made quite a name for yourself, Phoenix. Don't be foolish, you foolish fool wearing the foolishly foolish clothes. The famous one is me. I'm the prodigy who has never lost a case since becoming a prosecutor 5 years ago. Naturally, the world's eyes are on me as I conduct my first trial in this country. Uh-huh. That's nice, Miss Von Karma. Glad to see you're in such good spirits today, Miss Fey. It's true what they say. Women really are scary when they fight.
Now then, a very interesting theory was presented during yesterday's session.
That the defendant could have left the channeling chamber, correct?
Yes. And this key is proof of that. This key, the only key to the channeling chamber, was not where it should have been.
Your Honor, I would like to say one thing before we begin.
All right, let's hear it.
The prosecution has determined that from the time of the murder to the time of arrest, the defendant did indeed leave the room at one point.
Huh? What? But, Miss Von Karma, then how do you explain this picture? Are you saying then that the person in this picture is not the defendant?
I never said that wasn't the defendant.
Then what is the meaning of this?
All I'm saying is that Maya Fey, after killing the victim, exited the room. And I believe that is when she dropped this key.
Can you substantiate your claim?
Isn't that what I'm here for? The prosecution would like to call the defendant's aunt, Morgan Fey, to the stand. Just as I suspected. Aunt Morgan. Poor Mia, she seems really torn by this. Witness, name and occupation. My name is Morgan Fey, and I am a spirit medium, in a manner of speaking.
I'm sorry, but what do you mean in a manner of speaking?
I don't think anyone really cares. Now then, after the murder took place, you kept watching over the defendant, correct? Yes, that is correct. I performed the spirit severing technique on Mystic Maya then.
Spirit severing technique?
A technique to remove a spirit from a body and send it back to the other world. That is,
Yes, that is.
You, be quiet. Now, witness. Something happened while you were performing this technique, correct? Yes, that is correct. What in the world could have... Mystic Maya, she escaped from the room.
What?
And here we come to the heart of the matter. Maya Fey, while in a possessed state, managed to escape the channeling chamber.
Order. Miss Fey, please testify to this court about what happened.
Your Honor, I will try my best. I think someone just upped the ante on this trial. After we heard the gunshots, those two broke the door open and entered the chamber. I requested that Mr. Wright and the other lady please contact the police. A pistol was hanging from Mystic Maya's hand, and she was in a daze. Then, quite suddenly, she thrusted me away from herself and escaped the room. With great strength, she hit the base of my neck, and I fainted for a short while. I'm afraid I have no knowledge of where she went after that. Why have you hidden this until now? I did not wish to cause more trouble for Mystic Maya. However, I must correct falsities when they arise. That's right. She is simply correcting a falsity, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Why is she making it a point to take a stab at me?
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
My aunt is a very smart and sly person. It's going to be hard for us to find a crack in her testimony. This is only the second case. It's not until, like, the fourth one where things start getting, like, really fucking weird, you know. Alright, nothing stood out, we'll press it all. Just now, you said those two. Who were the two people you were referring to? I was referring to that foreign lady and yourself, good sir. Lotta's not a foreigner, despite how she talks. Oh, is that so? I'm sorry. I simply could not understand her atrocious English, not to mention she looked awful. I can already see people in the Heartland gearing up for a riot. In any case, I have already sent the repair bill to your office, Mr. Wright. Oh, thanks.
What did you do after that, Miss Fey?
Was it really necessary to have two people do something so simple as call the police? If there was a possibility of escape, then one of us should have stayed behind.
Yes, that is a very good point.
At that time, I myself was a little confused. On top of which, there was another...
Another what, madam?
Oh, it's nothing. No need to concern yourself. I want to hear the end of that sentence. There was another reason you wanted us both out of the room, wasn't there? You must testify. Why did you chase us out of the room? I simply did not wish for there to be more victims. The lives of both the good sir and the camera woman may be in danger, is what I thought to myself.
Well, that was very noble of you, Miss Fey.
This is bad. Now people have a good impression of her and a bad one of us. Looks like she caught us napping. That's my aunt for you.
Are you satisfied now? Please continue.
During our investigation, you stated that you struck the defendant on the head, and this strike caused Maya to lose consciousness. Do you stand by this statement? I'm afraid I don't. The statement I gave you was a lie. But why would you lie about something like that? It is very painful for me to say this, however. The witness was lying to cover for the defendant. She was covering for Maya? So you were covering for the defendant? Well, yes. It was only later that I was informed of what had occurred. That the renegade Mystic Maya had done something very unexpected.
Something unexpected? What, pray tell, did she... Oh!
This witness didn't and couldn't have seen what happened. If you want to know what this unexpected thing was, there is always later. Why does it suddenly feel like there's a rock in the pit of my stomach? Now, witness, continue with what happened. Was it really that easy for her to escape from you? I am ashamed to admit such a thing, however, yes. But you're physically larger and stronger than the defendant. There's no way she could have escaped from you so easily. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Phoenix Wright? What about this picture? Remember that at the time the defendant was not physically Maya Fey. I mean, that person doesn't exactly look like they're fucking ripped.
Growing old is such a mysterious thing. Trust me, I know firsthand.
Basically, Mystic Maya's body was still that of the nurse she had called. But if she had run away, wouldn't you have given chase right away? Well, yes, I would have, however... You fainted? I became dizzy and then collapsed onto the floor.
How long were you unconscious?
I'm not sure. About 10 minutes, perhaps. In all fairness, it's not like that's a question she could realistically answer, even if that was true.
And the defendant almost certainly went somewhere in that time.
Happy? Witness, elaborate on that point for us. Is that because you were unconscious? Why, yes. Great. Now what? So, while you were unconscious, you have absolutely no idea where the defendant went? I would think that's obvious, good sir. If that's true, then how can you know for sure that the defendant left the channeling chamber at all?
Now that you mention it, I have to wonder myself.
It's true that this witness is not able to confirm this. But the key word here is this witness. What do you mean by that? It means she has another witness up her sleeve, that's what. Looks like Miss Von Karma is ready to move to her next witness.
That's enough. From what I can tell, there is nothing wrong with this witness's testimony.
Yes, that does tend to happen when you say absolutely nothing, really, you know. It's not like she said anything that can be disproven.
And from what she has said, we can establish that Maya Fey did leave the chamber.
I hope this isn't going to come back and bite us in the butt. Now let's take the next logical step and ask, where did the defendant go after leaving the channeling chamber?
Yes. That is okay. Oh.
Be quiet, you. Now then, what the escapee had done when she had gone to speak with a certain person. She went to speak with someone?
Who was it?
The prosecution calls Miss Eenie Meenie, who was sleeping in the side room at the time. Eenie Meenie? I think you can see where this is headed. Witness, name and occupation.
Okay, so my name is, Eenie Meenie. I'm, researching, parapsychology stuff at the, university.
What is this parapsychology?
Let's see. It's, I guess, most people call it occult stuff.
Even if that's what most people call it, I can't say I understand what that means.
Then I suggest you go home and research it yourself.
Yes, sir.
Now then, Miss Meenie. After the murder took place, you spoke with the defendant, Maya Fey. Is this correct?
Well, I guess.
If that's the case, let's hear your testimony. That is all right, isn't it, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
For the love of all things good, Your Honor, have some spine.
When the channeling started, I was, sleeping in the side room. A little later, someone came into the room, really suddenly. It was, oh my god, totally my sister. I, hadn't seen her in, so long. I was so happy in, a sad way. My sister, she, told me something, totally terrible.
Which I will not include in the testimony until pressed on, apparently.
Now hold your horses, young lady. You're saying the person that entered was your sister. Don't you mean the defendant, Maya Fey?
Yes, let's relitigate this point for the 8th time now. Really now, Your Honor. Maya Fey was still in the middle of channeling at that time.
Are you saying the spirit was the spirit of the witness's sister?
Yes, Mimi Meanie. She was a nurse at Dr. Gray's clinic.
Oh, well, this is fucking stupid, honestly.
Witness.
Yeah?
In your testimony, you mentioned a terrible thing. Why don't you tell the court what this terrible thing was? I'm sure we'd love to hear about it.
Do I totally, really have to?
Of course.
Miss Meanie, please.
My sister, This is what she said to me.
That was no accident. I was drugged with sleeping pills. I was murdered by that person. That's why I took my revenge. It's only fair, isn't it? Eenie.
She took her revenge. Are you saying that's what she said?
Yes.
There, are you satisfied, Your Honor?
I still can't believe it. I can't believe that a spirit would go so far as to use a medium to get revenge.
It is a bit hard to swallow. However, all the evidence and testimonies point to this as the truth. The end.
What do you think, Mr. Wright? It certainly seems like all the loose ends are accounted for.
This testimony just now, was it all made up? Was it just one huge lie? Yes, of course it was, Phoenix. Mia, what do you mean? It's well constructed, but that's all it is. But even the most well-spun lies can be undone. We can do it, Phoenix. Let's find that one loose thread and unwind this tapestry of lies. Your Honor, there is room for doubt, so the defense will cross-examine this witness. We believe that our cross-examination will reveal the real truth behind this murder. Yet again, the foolish fool spouts out more foolishly foolish drabble. I wonder if he'll make this one more entertaining than last time. And so we start. Was that because of your sesame allergy, was it?
That's right. I think there was sesame seeds, in the lunch they served that day. I had this, premonition that it was going to be a totally seedy day.
Yes, indeed. I see. Yes. Am I the only one who missed the boat here? Yes.
Anyway, so you were taking a nap. Did something happen while you were sleeping?
Do you know the time?
Maybe a little before 11 a.m., something like that, I think.
11 a.m.?
Yeah.
When did he die? Ah, fuck. The autopsy report doesn't fucking say. Does that actually line up with the time? Oh, God.
My stomach is totally, My stomach is totally ready for, food.
No, I think you misunderstood me. I'm not asking what time it is now. I meant what time it was when someone came into your room.
Oh, so, that's what you meant. You should have been more, clear about it.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's okay. It's really...
That's it? Why'd you stop mid-sentence?
Did I? So, what was I talking about again?
Never mind. Witness about this person who entered the side room. Are you absolutely sure?
I guess.
You guess? Was it or was it not your sister who entered?
I don't know. I mean, I totally don't know your sister at all, Mr. Smith.
First off, Asami name is not Smith. Second, I'm an only child. But more than that, she's managed to mess up the question with her answer.
Well, Mr. Wright?
The defense rests. Well, that was a colossal waste of time. Now then, witness, how did you feel when you saw Miss Meanie Meanie? You were happy, in a sad way.
Yeah, it was my sister.
But wouldn't most people react here with surprise at seeing a dead loved one alive again?
But maybe if I was someone who didn't know about the occult. But I know all about the Quran channeling technique.
The point here is the witness immediately recognized that it was her sister.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Should I drop this? No. 'Cause The thing I have honed in on here is it's a little weird to say you are happy to see someone who turned up looking like that, you know? So you really didn't think anything strange of the whole encounter?
No. Like, there wasn't really any reason for me to think anything was strange.
But
Ow!
don't keep badgering her. You know, you could fret, you know the phrase objection, could you try using that once in a while?
Mr. Wright, this question of what the witness felt when she saw her sister, is it really important?
Oh, it's very important. It is very important, although I haven't figured out the why it is yet. But I've got to bluff for now and make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. Yes, that's a classic right there. Anyway, I'm slamming that picture now. Oh, look, she even elaborated to say her costume looked totally normal. Even better, brother. That was a very well-spun line, Miss Eni. What are you babbling about this time, Mr. Phoenix Wright? It's well-constructed, but that's all it is. Stealing my lines now, are we, Phoenix? Miss Meanie, may I remind you of what you said? You said that there was nothing strange about your sister's appearance.
Like, yeah, and?
But I don't think that's what you were thinking at all. Take a look at this picture. This is a picture of the sister you met. I would think that even you would be surprised if someone appeared before you like this. The blood spray. And, you know, also just, like, looks totally fucking different. Why did you not include the blood you saw in your testimony? If you were really testifying and not lying, you would have noted it right off the bat.
Order, Miss Meanie, what is the meaning of this? Miss Meanie.
I'm thinking, don't interrupt me.
That E?
And what are you stammering about, Your Honor?
Well,
That witness, her personality did a complete 180 there. Lots of people do that when they get on the stand, though. Yeah, you know. It's meanie, though. That's definitely what's coming. First of all, calm yourself, witness.
Like, I'm sorry, I, didn't mean to snap.
Now hurry up with the testimony.
if you please.
The judge still looks a little shaken up. A lot of help he's going to be. Yes, the judge is always very helpful after all. We've come to depend on him, definitely.
Like, the side room was, kind of dark, you know? So, the costume is, purple, right? The blood totally blended right in. And I, persuaded my sister it wasn't, right to do something like that. And then, I took my sister to the channeling chamber.
It was the middle of the day, though. You know, the entrance to the channeling chamber is, in the sun.
Yes, now I see. And you have given us a clear reason for why you didn't notice the blood.
You think? Thanks, Gramps.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Wright? All right, I guess not. Very well, you may question the witness.
Alright. Really? Because I thought it was pretty bright inside that room. Don't push your subjective opinions onto this court. Yeah, because the prosecution never does that.
That's right.
Excuse me, but how is my statement any more subjective than Miss Meanie's? You are such a hopeless cause. Witness, you may feel free to ignore this trite little man.
Okay.
Oh, can't breathe. Let me out of here. You didn't see the blood?
Yeah.
But she must have had the gun with her at that time as well.
That's,
Are you gonna tell me next you didn't notice the gun either?
I, totally didn't. All I was looking at was, her face.
Continue. Everyone's yeah, that one wasn't super convincing, but... And what was your sister, Miss Mimi Meanie, like at that time?
Well, she was, totally flipped out because she just shot Dr. Gray. But I think, she knew but I think, she knew. She, said she really did something really bad. bed, and, like, she said that she wanted me to go fucking hell. And, like, she said she wanted to go with me to, like, apologize to Miss Morgan.
That's a weird You're gonna apologize to just this other person? Did Mimi's spirit really say all that to you?
Like, yeah.
Was your sister calm by that time?
Like, I guess so. I guess maybe, like, taking her revenge on Dr. Gray, like, helped her make her feel a lot better.
I'd like to feel a lot better too. Mr. Phoenix Wright, the sooner the better. She says, ready with her whip at the ready.
And, like, Miss Morgan was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know.
May I ask you one more thing, Miss Meanie?
Like, sure.
Was there anything you found strange, unusual, or just out of place?
Something out of place? Like, huh? What do you mean?
When you were going to the crime scene. I'm talking about when you were going to the channeling chamber, of course.
Like, no, nothing strange.
She answered rather quickly. Now what? Press harder. Think harder. I know you can remember something.
I, like, totally can't.
That's not good enough. You have to explain yourself clearly to this court.
Do you think, Mr. Wright, that whether or not there was something odd on the way to the channeling chamber is all that important?
It's very important. I ask because it is very important. Not that I know where I'm going was. Well, at the time, Pearl should have been fixing the, urn.
If you will, please include a statement about this in your testimony.
I didn't see anyone on the way to the channeling chamber. But... yes. I was thinking, like, is it the ball or the jar? But yes, let's go. I finally found the fault, or I guess in your case, the crack in your perfect lie. Take a look at this urn.
Like, urn?
There are cracks. Do you see them?
So, like, what does that prove?
Who cares about some worn-out old urn?
Like, yeah, I already, like, said I didn't, like, see anyone on the way to the channeling chamber. I didn't, like, totally say anything about, like, an urn, did I?
And that's the problem. It looks like you still don't understand. I propose that if you had really been walking along the winding way at that time, there's no way you would not have seen this person. The little flip-a-doo. I'd like to introduce someone to you. This is Miss Morgan Fay's daughter, Pearl Fay.
Yes? And how is this child relevant?
It just so happens that at the time of the murder, Pearl was playing in the center garden.
Oh.
And she had just happened to break this urn.
Oh. Oh.
Wait, she broke the urn? Yep, she accidentally knocked it over with her ball. And Pearl was the one who put it back together, while sitting right in the middle of the winding way. Oh, Jesus Christ. Miss Meanie. Pearl was there in the winding way at the time. She was hard at work putting the pieces of the urn back together, you see. If you couldn't see that while you were walking, I'd have to declare you legally blind. I think I have sufficiently proven one thing, Miss Meanie. You are a masterful liar.
Mr. Wright, you need to watch what you say.
The one who needs to watch what she's saying is the witness. So, Miss Meanie, tell us the truth.
About what?
About what? About what you were really doing at the time of the murder, of course. The witness just testified about that, and was when we prove it to be wrong.
I was, like, sleeping in the side room.
Can I really believe her? Was she really sleeping in the side room? There's no way. Your lies end here.
What do you mean?
The witness says that during the actual murder she was asleep in the side room. And I'd say that's not possible, because there's clearly a contradiction here.
A contradiction? Where is this contradiction?
Well, it's not in the evidence, is it? Earlier in your testimony, Miss Meany, you made the following statement.
And like, Miss Morgan was the only...
Ah, she knew something. Yes, of course. It's true that at the time, both myself and Miss Hart were not there. We had gone to call the police.
So, like, what does that, like, have to do with anything?
It's very simple. Miss Meany, how did you know that fact?
How?
I concede that Miss Fay was the only person in the channeling chamber. However, someone who was asleep in the side room could not have known that. Which means, Miss Meany, you did in fact go to the channeling chamber. But you didn't go there by way of the winding way.
But look at the Manor Guide map. If she were to go between the side room and the channeling chamber, one would have to use the winding way.
Yes, that's right, Your Honor. Which is why I asked this very important question. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Miss Meany, please answer the question. Don't ask a question off a baseless assumption, if you please. Well, I suppose, since you've put it on the table, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you might as well answer the question for us. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Now's your chance, Phoenix. Yeah, the only person who could have killed Dr. Gray was Eenie Meany, so now's the time to prove it.
Now, let's hear your answer.
She was right fucking here, brother. She was in the channeling chamber. Miss Meany was here, of course.
But that's the channeling chamber.
Isn't that the crime scene? That's right. Miss Meany was at the scene of the crime.
Order. That's why that is... Blah.
Mr. Phoenix Wright, have you lost your mind? Yesterday's testimony established that only the victim and the defendant were in the channeling chamber when the channeling started.
Yes, that's correct. Please explain yourself.
Simple. Miss Eenie Meany was hiding at the scene of the crime.
I was hiding?
Where? Like, where was I hiding? You were behind the screen, brother. Here, of course.
Behind the folding screen.
Ah! Don't make me say this again. Recall yesterday's testimony.
There ain't no way anyone was hanging out behind that folding screen.
See, you stupid jerk. Quit being so quick to pin it on me, slimeball.
Well, now, Miss Meany, one so young as you shouldn't be saying...
Shut up, Gramps. As if you know exactly how old I am.
I'm sorry.
Looks like the pipe's about to burst. Guess I should help it along. The witness was hiding behind the folding screen with the help of this box, which has been obvious since yesterday, but you know. Miss Meany, how were you able to hide yourself at the scene of the crime is very simple. You were... Oh, Christ. Oof. I banged the microphone and knocked over the camera. Sorry. Oh, I got a little too passionate. You know how it is. You were hiding inside this box. That tiny little box, no person could fit in that. I'll get in the box right now. Fucking watch me, brother. Sorry, but your theory has already been disproved. Lotta disproved it when she was hiding from me in it. I could also get in it right now. But that clothing box was in the side room, right? Which means it has nothing to do with the murder at all. That's right, I was sleeping there, so I should know. That clothing box there was in the side room the whole time.
Mr. Wright, do you think you can prove where the box was?
I can. And now I present the piece of evidence that will prove this clothing box was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. The folding screen with the hole in it. Nope. Take a look at this clothing box. You're so stupid, as if there's any sort of evidence in that old thing.
This? What on earth?
I don't have time for you to sit there surprised. Hurry up and say it already.
There's a hole about 8 inches off the ground.
A hole about 8 inches off the ground. Where have we heard that before? The folding screen. It had a hole at the same height. That's right. I hope this has opened your eyes to what happened. At the time of the shooting, the clothing box was sitting behind the folding screen, which is why the bullet from the pistol hit both the box and the folding screen. It went through the screen and then into the box. Miss Meanie, you are hiding behind the folding screen waiting for your chance. Yes, for your chance to kill Dr. Gray.
Order, order. So what you're saying...
Then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, what about this picture? Are you saying that the person in this photo is Miss Eenie Meenie? That is exactly what I am saying. Miss Eenie Meenie, you were hiding inside the clothing box all along. And you wore a medium's costume to masquerade as Maya Fey.
To masquerade as Maya Fey?
She had it planned from the very beginning. Harry, please don't sit there, you're blocking the camera. She had it planned from the very beginning. She would kill Dr. Gray and pin the blame on my client. No, stop. I can't stand to listen to any more of this foolishness. If that's the case, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I have a proposition. This whole idea that the witness moved the clothing box to the crime scene, pretended to be the defendant, killed the victim, and then fled the scene of the crime. It's not possible for one person to do that all by herself. Correct, it's not. It really is impossible. For one person to do all the preparations, that is. Need I remind you, the foolish receive no mercy. Wait, Miss Von Karma, you said it was not possible for one person, correct? What? You can't be serious. Miss Meanie, you had an accomplice. Let's go. This person. If it wasn't someone from the crime village, you couldn't have gotten the costume. And if it wasn't someone from the Fey household, you wouldn't have that box to use. Morgan Fey?
Isn't that the wonderful lady witness we had earlier?
What do you have to say to this, Miss Meanie? You shot Dr. Gray with your own two hands. Do you deny it? I think this is what really happened. The murderer had planted herself at the scene of the crime long beforehand. Dressed in a medium's costume and wearing a wig, she pretended to be the defendant. And then the channeling started. The murderer crept silently towards the other two, both of them whom had their eyes closed. First, she drugged Maya Fey with a strong sleeping agent. Then she stabbed Dr. Gray with a knife. Next, she hid my client inside the clothing box. She did that so that she could take Maya's place and frame her for the crime. But that's when something unexpected happened.
Unexpected?
Yes. Dr. Gray was actually not yet dead. With the last of his strength, he fired a shot at his attacker. And that is why the hole in the folding screen was so low to the ground. The murderer then took the gun from Dr. Gray and...
After that, you and the other lady thought to break into the room?
Yes, a gunshot is certainly something you wouldn't expect to hear. Which is why, upon hearing the shots, we forced our way into the channeling chamber. Miss Meanie, she immediately covered her own costume with blood, and pretended to be Maya Fey. But that sort of deception would have been easy to see through. Which is precisely why Miss Morgan Fey chased us out. Please leave this area.
Well, what is one supposed to say?
This is the real truth behind this murder.
Who is that, laughing at a time like this?
Ah! Oh, you simple-minded fools. I'm sorry. Are you still by chance evolving?
What is it this time?
Miss Von Karma? Surely.
Of course it was me.
Do you really think someone of Von Karma blood would lose due to something this petty?
What in the world?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, your argument is flawed in one very crucial area. And that is, if this witness is the real murderer, why would she go through all this trouble? Huh? Working together with a medium, pretending to be one, putting on this whole act. What reason would she have to do something so foolish? I hate that you even want me to justify this, given we've openly talked about the fact her sister died. In fact, earlier she fucking said it herself during her testimony. She took her revenge. Well, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I also hate how you can prove everything perfectly. Like, this is definitely what happened. These are all the facts point to, and they'll go, no motive. Can't do it. Yeah, but if everything else, anyway. Oh, and one other thing. Why would Miss Eenie Meenie want to kill Dr. Gray? Where is her motive? What a stupid question. What an absolute fucking idiot. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say too. Then you're also a fucking idiot. Yeah, motive. I don't have a motive. A motive? I can't say she has no motive here. I have to oh, come on. It's because of the fucking car crash. Huh. Just really? You're not gonna accept that? Oh no, yes. Oh no, I thought... It had the vibe that she was about to throw it. Whenever the portrait doesn't pop up, I'm always like, fuck. But again, because through that accident, you suffered a lot of hurt and pain yourself. Don't be stupid. No one has proof Dr. Gray drugged my sister, right? And you want to say I wanted to take revenge based on nothing?
What do you mean by that?
Senile, stupid Gramps.
I'm going to explain, so please listen, okay? It's been over a year since I was discharged from the hospital. If I wanted revenge, then I wouldn't have waited this long. And besides, the guy who thought of the spirit thing was Dr. Gray. It was a total coincidence he asked me about it, you know.
She's back to her airhead persona. However, you see... Youch! Pathetic, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You failed to support your own theory, except by the fact we showed 9 pieces of evidence, but the end.
I think we have our answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What Miss Meenie stated is very true, so we will ignore all the inconsistencies that we have to make your client guilty now. The revenge plan is overly complicated, and she has no motive in the first place, which is a stupid thing to say, but here we are. Furthermore, there is no reason for Miss Morganfade to cooperate with this plan.
I wish so badly to just be able to reach into the screen, slap him, and say, you dumb bitch.
You don't even have any truly decisive pieces of evidence to demonstrate your point.
So many faults, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You should really learn your place. What happened? I thought I had her for sure.
So it's just like I told you.
I hope you liked your slice of humble pie.
Very well, I will now conclude the cross-examination of Miss Eenie Meenie.
Your Honor, please allow the defense 1 more minute.
All right.
You can't lose here. Have faith in yourself, Phoenix.
Mia.
Yes, it does sound like a ridiculously messed up plan for a murder. But you know, regardless, that girl trained for this crime. Really? Listen, Phoenix. Everything happens for a reason. There is a reason for why she had to kill Dr. Gray. And it is also the reason she had no choice but to kill him in this fashion.
Time is up, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Your final answer, please. If you want to say that you can prove Miss Eenie had a motive, then why did she kill the victim this way?
Can I really do this? I am not totally confident here, but I know I must press on no matter what. That's right, Phoenix. Only you can do this now. I will show and substantiate the fact that Miss Meenie had a motive.
Too bad, you're too late. My cross-examination is already ended.
Interesting. Let him cook. I'll let you have your chance, Mr. Wright. What? You're supposed to be on my side. Von Karma only cares about the perfect win. As long as you have the will to fight, I will knock you down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And I don't care if you are my witness, so help me, I will throw you out of my way.
No way. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. We will continue the cross-examination after we reconvene. Hey, wait a sec.
It's so aggravating. Like, alright, I see that you've proven it with, 12 pieces of evidence and the witness's own words, but, at the same time, consider this one thing, which obviously means we have to ignore all the other inconsistencies you've pointed out and just declare them guilty, That's just how this has to go. Is it really true about my aunt? I'm afraid so, Maya. There is no way Eni could have killed Dr. Gray by herself. And under the circumstances, there's no one else other than your aunt, Morgan. That's terrible. Why? Why would my aunt? Everything is going just as I predicted, Mr. Phoenix, Wright. Miss Von Karma.
What are you doing this? Why are you trying to take revenge on Nick?
Nick had nothing to do with what happened to your dad. Don't you have something better to be worrying about? Say your own situation. Looking down on me even though we're the same age. Are you done yet? You've caused me enough pain and suffering. Not yet. My goal is to defeat you and let the whole world know of your defeat. But even if you do that, it won't bring your father back. Whatever. In the meantime, let's bring this match to its conclusion, and then we'll know who the real winner is. Good talk. That was worth the visit.
Court will now reconvene, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you prove Miss Meany had a motive?
Yes, I believe I can. Eenie Meenie and Dr. Gray have only one point of connection, and that is the car accident 1 year ago. The motive I'm looking for must be there. Miss Meenie, please testify to this court about your car accident last year.
Huh? I thought, you wanted me to, ask about my motive. I, don't see the point in, bringing up the past.
Miss Meany, if you please.
Okay, I totally don't get it. Don't think it'll do any good, but... That was, last year in May. Something really bad happened at, my sister's clinic around then. And, the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired while she was driving. I was, totally pooped out, too, so I, fell asleep in the passenger seat. I, woke up because of a jolt, and it was, a sea of flames around me. I, opened the door and, got away.
I think I've heard of this incident.
It was all the talk on the tabloid shows day after day last year.
Yes, and there was talk about Dr. Gray drugging your sister.
Those are merely rumors, totally baseless gossip.
Yes. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness.
Right now, it's impossible to prove that Dr. Gray did in fact drug Miss Meanie's sister. Yeah, which means I'll have to work at this from another angle.
Let's go.
Didn't some sort of medical malpractice happen at your sister's hospital then?
Yeah, that was in May too. The thing with the patients dying was May 2nd, and our accident was on the 24th.
2 accidents back to back. Do you assume it's just a coincidence?
My sis was totally tired, so that's why, duh.
Honestly, that was a really leading question, but whatever, it's okay. That was the malpractice incident where the 14 patients died, correct?
Yeah.
What was the cause of the mistake?
I heard it was because the medicines got mixed up.
Was that the fault of your sister, Meanie?
No way. Dr. Gray wanted to blame it on my sis.
That incident has nothing to do with our murder here. Besides, the police report had already documented that it was entirely Meanie's fault. Which means as far as the real facts are concerned, Meanie is the one who made the mistake.
But it really wasn't my sis. And the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired.
She was totally tired? You mean exhausted?
She had to talk to the police and was being investigated every day. It was a totally terrible situation.
It's no wonder then that the car accident happened, huh? Press harder. So then why didn't you ask to switch places?
Huh? Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, switch drivers. If your sister was so tired, then you should have switched with her.
True.
Hold on. From her driver's license, I fucking got you, brother. This is news to me. I was not aware you didn't have your license, Miss Meanie.
Please amend your testimony.
Too fucking simple, brother. Wait. Where is it? Where's the statement about not having a driver's license? Okay, there we go. That's weird that it put it like 7 sections ahead of it. Whatever. Miss Meanie, that was a lame lie just now.
Like, what do you mean?
I know you had a license back then. This is a photo you took for the express purpose of getting a driver's license.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Beanie? That's right. Yeah, I had, like, a license, but
I didn't get it until after the accident. Incorrect. No, you had it. You had it at the time of the accident. Director Hottie, or the guy pretending to be him anyway, said so. Maybe don't include that part. What are you talking about, that perverted fake clinic director? Yes, that perverted fake clinic director. And, no one cares. Witness, when did you receive your driver's license?
like last November.
What? November? The accident happened last May. That's a half-year lapse in time. What in the...
That's what happened, Mr. Wright. At the time of the accident, Miss Meanie did not have a driver's license.
Then explain the existence of this. What the fuck? Cry and my whip will accommodate.
Anyway, without a license, the witness...
Then explain the fuck. What the fuck?
I'm, like, glad you get it, but, like, even if I had my license, I, like, don't think my sis would have let me, let me drive.
Don't just stand there humming to yourself. Not you too, Mia. With the whip, and the pain, and the ow. Miss Meanie, why do you think you would not have been allowed to drive?
That's because...
I think this situation calls for a more detailed testimony, Miss Meanie, if you please.
Like, how annoying. Oops, like, sorry, didn't mean to be mean.
I like how we're just gonna totally not explain the existence of this photo then, you know.
Like, around that time, I was, like, really close to getting my license. My sis was, like, this totally big fan of cars and, like, really valued them. She, like, just gotten this really shiny, bright red sports car. She, like, would say things like, no way am I letting a noob drive my car. So, like, that's why I ended up in the passenger seat.
I see. A bright red car for sports. Now then, the defense may question the witness.
I'm not terribly knowledgeable about cars, but... And so we go. So what do you mean by really close?
Like, I had one of those permit things, I think that's what they're called.
Permit? Wow, the big name lawyer boy doesn't even know what a driver's permit is. Well, this lawyer never had a permit. Bah! Ignorance is to be whipped. What is it with her? All she said in the last few minutes is utter nonsense.
So, like, may I continue?
She valued cars. How much would you say she valued her car?
Well, like, she'd flip out at, like, a drop of rain, and, like, she would notice if someone, like, touched the car with dirty hands.
In that case, why bother taking the car out of the garage ever? Why did she take such special care of the car? How can you say that? It was a brand spanking new car. New car?
Like, you wouldn't want to, like, get it dirty, would you, Mr. Lawyer?
I would think the car is getting dirtier is just another fact of life, but I guess people who really love cars think otherwise. Try asking something of more significance, right? I mean, you know... It was a new car?
Yeah, she had, like, just gotten it. It was, like, from the UK.
The UK.
Well, this... Hold on, does that change something? That means the driver's side was on the other side of the car. Layla said... The right door? That's the driver's seat in a UK car. I guess press harder. This is the thing. If she got out of the right side of the car with a car from the UK, that means she was in the driver's seat. I had a feeling this was bound to come up. Your Honor.
Yes? Please have the witness.
Please have the witness append what she just said to her testimony.
You mean the part about it being a special import car?
Yes.
Well, if you like cars that much, then that's not my point.
Though to be honest, I don't know what the point is either.
Miss Meany, could you fix your testimony?
This seems like something where if you aren't from the UK, you would have trouble getting this one correct, actually. Miss Meany, do you remember this article? It's an article about the accident. You said this in it. But I opened the right door and, got out. That's correct, isn't it?
Why are you suddenly asking me about that?
Your Honor, which side is the passenger seat, the left or the right?
Well, it's on the right side, of course, because the driver's on the left side.
That would be if it were an American car, but it would be the opposite in a British car.
Opposite?
The two of them were riding in a British car. In that case, the passenger side would be the left side.
Ugh! What do you mean by this?
Miss Meany, you said that you had escaped using the right side door of the car. But if you were sitting there, then that means you were in the driver's seat.
Order in the court, order!
Mr. Phoenix Wright is blabbering nonsense again. Eni said the person who was driving the car was her older sister, Mimi Meany. That is what Eni said, yes, but that is where her whole story falls apart. No, it doesn't actually, but we haven't gotten there yet. Somewhere all of us made a big error in our assumptions. Phoenix, it looks like you finally found the real root of this murder. If we can connect all the dots, there can be only one answer. I would like the court to question, Eni or Meany, who was really driving that night. See, this is one where I want to say it was Mimi Meany because I think she changed identities. But are they going to accept that at this stage? The answer is the one person who had their driver's license, Mimi Meany. After all, that makes her the only person who could legally drive.
But you just said that the witness Edie Meany was the one in the passenger seat.
Which leads us to the next question.
The next question?
Who is the person standing at the witness stand right now? What sort of idiotic ruse is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This witness's name is... I'll tell you what her real name is. Where is her photograph? There it is. Meany. That is your real name. Of all the foolish drivel, then how do you explain her appearance? This witness had severe facial burns when she was admitted into the hospital. So for the purpose of facial reconstruction, the surgeons used a picture. Facial reconstruction surgery. This is the picture she gave to their doctors at the time. That's right. It's a picture of her younger sister.
No, but Meany, she died in the car accident.
That's what everyone thought. However, that was not the case. Then, the body they found at the crash site. That was the body of the real Eenie Meany. Isn't that right, Miss Mimi Meany? That car accident 1 year ago. The one who died that night was Eenie Meany. Her sister, Mimi, then stole her face and was reborn as Eenie. With this, she effectively erased Mimi Meany from existence. Your Honor, I'm sure you can now see why Mimi had to kill Dr. Gray.
What do you mean?
What is the meaning of this nonsense? Dr. Gray wanted to call back the spirit of a dead person. Specifically, the spirit of his nurse that died in the crash, Mimi Meanie. However, that would not have been possible, because Mimi Meanie was still, in fact, alive. And that fact would have been discovered had the channeling been conducted. This is actually a more ridiculous motive than just revenge, isn't it? Because it seems to me as if it would be exceptionally easy to just say, oh, well, channeling's not real. You know, like, it seems to me like you could just sort of deny this. But again, I guess channeling is verifiably real, so I guess. It just sounds even more ridiculous than just revenge. So this witness had to stop that from happening. At all costs. And that's why she had to kill Dr. Turner Gray. Is that what you're saying? Yes. Before the channeling, Dr. Gray had the misfortune of consulting this witness about communicating with the dead. And in that moment, his fate was sealed.
What? Well, Miss Miss Von Car...
Why did you say my name just now? Looks like I've been unmasked. Witness! That's right, I admit it. My real name is Mimi Meanie. That quack doctor, he got what he deserved in the end. And I was so close to finally ditching Mimi, too. So close.
But why? Why would you go so far as to throw away yourself, to become your own sister?
I think I understand why. Mimi Meanie wanted her old self to disappear because of this, the malpractice suit. No, not that. That's about the malpractice incident. Dr. Gray was right. The mistake was caused by the nurse. A nurse by the name of Mimi Meanie. That's right, the person standing before us today. And a few weeks after this mishap, Mimi Meanie had a car accident, in which she lost her younger sister. The timing couldn't have been worse. 14 patients dying in that incident, and her own sister's life extinguished. It was all too much to bear. I found a way for myself to escape it all. The only way. She lost everything in the flames of that incident. Her sister, and even her own face. This was her last chance. Her chance to throw away her past and start a new life as her sister.
Unbelievable. A plan beyond my wildest imagination.
That jerk. If only he hadn't thought of that channeling mumbo-jumbo. Mumbo-jumbo. Becoming Eni has been the most horrible experience in the world. Spirit channeling, the occult. I hate it. I hate it all.
I believe there are still a few unsolved riddles here, such as, why did Miss Mimi choose to go with such a complicated plan? And why did Miss Morgan Fay agree to help her execute it? Regardless, I believe one thing has been made crystal clear.
The innocence of the defendant, Maya Fay. This is preposterous. I'm perfect. Me, Franziska von Karma. I'm going to enjoy the news tonight, Miss Von Karma. How about you? It's going to be broadcast all over the world, right? Your defeat matters.
Ow, 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 ow.
It should have been me. It should have been me. Phoenix, hang in there, Phoenix. Phoenix! This card is a fraud, a sham.
Now then, it looks like it will be some time before Mr. Wright regains consciousness, so I will go ahead and pronounce the verdict.
Yeah, we did it! Whoa!
That is all. Court is adjourned.
Congratulations, Maya. Sis! It's good to see you, Maya. How are you doing? Sis, I didn't kill anyone, did I? No, you didn't. It was all just a dream. A really bad dream. You know, sis, in my dream, I smelled a really familiar scent. A familiar scent. I was inside that clothing box, right? That box. That was the box you used to store your clothes in a long time ago. That's right. That's a little much, but okay. There's still one thing I don't quite get. What's that? What would have happened if Mimi hadn't shot Dr. Gray? I mean, we broke in because we heard a gunshot. I think Mimi planned to open the door to the chamber herself, and then you and Lotta would have witnessed quite a scene. A possessed Maya Fey who had just committed a murder. She had planned it down to the smallest detail, huh? Nick! Congrats, Maya. Congrats on not being a murderer. Thanks. Looks like you bailed me out of another jam. Well, you know. But I really don't want something like this to happen ever again. I'm fine because I have you to help me out, Nick, but every time something happens, I lose someone special to me. First my sister, and now my aunt. Hey, Nick, tell me why my aunt went and did something so horrible. Why would she help Mimi with a plan like that? I just don't understand it, Nick. Maya, it's over. Why don't we just let it be? Nick, please, I need an answer. What am I meant to present for this exactly? We never presented this, so that's, you know, concerning. What do I say for this? Because the thing is that she wanted the Branch family to be the main family. How exactly am I meant to say this? Do I present... No, not the urn. It has to be a profile, right? Well, the plan was to, like, have Pearl take their place, specifically. So, Pearl? Pearly? 4 years from now, a new master will be born into the Karine village. And that person will be you, Maya. But if you weren't there, then the main family's bloodline would disappear, and what would happen then? The Branch family. My aunt. No. Morgan's spiritual power is too weak. The next person would be Pearl's. Ah! Everything was done for her sake. It was also Pearl's would become the next master. I can see that. Did Maya just say something just now? I think what she was saying was, I thought so. In reality, it's like when a parent presents their child at like a beauty pageant. It's not really for the kid's benefit, you know, it's for the mother's benefit, actually, but you know. My precious Pearl, you're the only one suitable to be the master of Karine, dear child. I sacrificed it all for you. I helped that brainless nurse carry out her murder, and cooperated with that whip-happy prosecutor. It was all to unseat that annoying witless main family girl, that Maya Fey. But I shall be patient, my dearest Pearl. A chance will present itself. Your time will come. And we never even actually properly cross-examined Morgan, because all we did was press down until it went, ah, right. Oh no, Big Top's next. I gotta be honest with you. The next case is the worst one in the series for a lot of reasons. It's really cringe. It's really cringe. It's not gonna be fun. None of us are gonna enjoy it, but we have to do it. We have to go to the circus.